Yeah, we're using the bad mic again. Sorry, chat. I'm in the middle of a transitionary period, and that's all I got access to right now. Sorry, please bear with me. Thanks. This is what we're gonna have to work with. Bad mic. Oh, this was going to be a reaction video. As a matter of fact, a fellow Chuba and a couple of streamer friends of mine recommended I do reaction videos for K-pop and BL as a way to get more eyes on the stuff I put out. And embarrassingly, I do watch reaction videos as I like to see people's different opinions on things they like or their feelings towards something that might be new to them because I'm a bit of a sicko. And also, it can be a highly disposable format. You know what I mean? It's easy, but it's also kind of a quick flash in the pan. So it's not really the direction I wanted to go in. I made one reaction video right here. I'm pointing towards it, which is really bad and really subdued because it was recorded at a ridiculous time in the morning and the audio levels on my mic were fucked up. And I also found that I just prefer to watch these things with friends in real time, in a voice chat, or on stream, because I like sharing these things with people, in some cases against their will, but they ended up being entertained anyway, so what's the problem? So rather than have me just sit here and watch ZEROBASEONE's video with you and just kind of pog face once in a while, I opened a beer, stared outside my window in the street light at the hot, swampy, smuggy night, started just looping the MV. Not streaming it, but just kind of running it over and over, just deciding to just hold on and hang on to it. Just watch the damn thing. Because after watching it a couple of times, or just having the song hit my ears, I wanted to have a little bit more to say than just, oh my god, video. Good So Bad by ZEROBASEONE, 2024, under Wake One Entertainment. Not quite an end to a love story, but the beginning of change. So, ZEROBASEONE's OG title debut track, In Bloom, was a twofold love letter to the star creators, the fans who supported their endeavors on the borderline Stanford prison social experiment / battle royale, directed by Kenji Fujisaki, / gay dating show Boys Planet, which, as we know, was responsible for their creation, and to several unhinged people on the internet holding crazy-ass grudges over an edited and scripted reality TV show for way too long. But not only was that song a thank you / borderline parasocial love song to the fans, and thus a safe sort of love song with a really broad object of affection, because as we know, Korean pop, aka K-pop, is a capitalist disposable meat grinder machine that aims for the most general audience possible. But aside from that, ZEROBASEONE's In Bloom was a sort of thesis statement on them as a group. Here we are, as we are. Accepted us for who we are. The time we have is temporary in an already fleeting and fast-paced, brutal, creative black hole meat machine of an industry that more often than not treats its artists and fans as disposable, and yet still our passion and love for you, yeah, you chat, and what we do will not waver, even as the world resets over and over and over again. Also, Take On Me by Aha slaps. Remember the 80s? Oh my god! Actually, let's get into that real quick, and by it, I mean ZEROBASEONE's world building and lore. Bonus round, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. So as you may have noticed, I'm a VTuber, which means that I'm a streamer using the interface of a cartoon character to talk to y'all out there on the internet. I'm pointing to you right now, but my model doesn't have hands. Basically, I'm a puppet. Think of me like Kermit the Frog's two-dimensional anime robot hamster cousin 16's time removed. What I'm getting at is that most, not all, VTubers like me operate a sense of kayfabe, as in we play these characters to an extent, and have backstories or quotation marks lore, which is basically an in-kind of universe reasoning to why an all-powerful anime demon goddess Catgirl is playing Fortnite on the internet. Now, what I'm saying is that K-pop groups are the same thing. And much like VTubers and pro wrestlers and the band Guar's group's creative direction, how they interface with their fan base can hinge on their lore. For example, on one end of the spectrum, we have legendary first-gen group G.O.D., aka Just Some Dudes, who sing really, really good, and decided to take inspo from gospel and pop and other Black and African-American genres of music and take it to Korea. And on the other hand, you have ENHYPEN, who are vampires with a whole-ass webtoon and superpowers, and all of their music videos build off each other. And they have in-universe beef with their Japanese counterpart group ANTEAM, who are gay werewolves, and there's some sort of ARG, and Jesus fuck, this isn't confusing. Do not explain the lore to me. Please, thank you. I am not getting into these groups. Please, no, stop. That's too many guys. That is too many guys. ZEROBASEONE's general gist is that they're 9 dudes bound by destiny. Literally so, as in the fan base voted them into the group during the Gundam Fight Championships, aka His Man 2.5 Idol Edition, aka Boys Planet. They enter a virtual world, but oh oopsie, the server made a fucky wookie and now they're trapped in the back end of Discord. With each mini album release, here, and here, ZEROBASEONE and their creative direction team figured out what vibes the group as a whole were best suited for, how their voices work together, what kind of concepts they wanted to challenge, so on and so forth. Likewise, the story was able to be built on top of itself from the general threadbare idea of flower boys in a computer game, other 9 fairy tale princess, other Knights in the Shin Megami Tensei world, other gay cowboys for some reason. Feel the pop era was a feeble dream. There might be digital copies of themselves trying to work against the originals and keep them ignorant from learning more about the reality of the situation. Now they're being written into a movie and actively rebelling against the scriptwriter to continue chasing after a vague general love for their fans, only to find it in each other. It's just vague enough to where the general dots of nothing lasts forever, but the love for each other and our fans can easily be connected, which in turn reminds both the group and the fans that hey, this is a temporary group, so hey, unfortunately, in order to get any sort of chance of possibly being able to stay together, you're gonna have to play the worst kind of capitalist numbers game bullshit to stay relevant in a fast-moving pop culture hellscape dominated by 4 of the richest companies in the country and the most fickle, hateful, homophobic, and transphobic immature motherfuckers of a general fandom you will ever see in your life. Holy shit, it is crazy what you guys say on the internet. So you might as well just start buying like 50 of these albums and like voting on these apps. And have you seen these little guys? Oh my god, they're so cute. Fuck you. Pre-order sales ended and we don't ship to
undisclosed location in a rock quarry in an asteroid field.
And normally I do not fuck with this kind of thing. These, like right over here, these are my most played musicians, like right here, these guys. And these are the kind of goofy ass playlists that I make, so I have to say this, I'm sorry. This sounds really, really fucking lame, but as you can see here, I come as far away as you can get from K-pop. Here is a graph, in case you needed it. As my favorite band of all time has a lead singer who famously forced himself to vomit on stage multiple times and had a song about Japan's war crimes. Shout out to Deer and Gray, I saw them live, changed my life anyway. So why the full submersion into this K-pop group? Well, maybe one half of it is due to the residual parasocial. These are my boys. I raise them myself. Do not separate TM. Thanks to Boys Planet, one half of it is because of my love of 2D idol media mix franchises such as the Idol Master Side M show by Rock and King of Prism, along with 3D Japanese idol groups such as Perfume, where the focus is cheering on your idols as they grow and improve. Development over instant perfection, basically. But also it's the interesting dichotomy you've got in the middle of a hyper-commercialized, brutal industry with a time limit that is built around selling the idealized perfection of its very young talent. We have a former backup dancer and skilled choreographer trained in queer ballroom dance styles, a former fine arts major, a former street dancer, a former rock band musician, someone who placed #1 in art studies for his entire region consisting of about 40 kajillion people, an academic big boy debate genius, a dance prodigy, an experienced idol turned model turned BL actor who was one of the few people that an openly gay idol, shoutouts to Holland, has vouched for as an ally, an extremely hard-working ex-trainee who gave up athletics to focus on dance, and yet the avenue of expression they chose was the K-pop idol industry, which, as we have said multiple times, an infamously super produced, highly controlled, more than borderline abusive, super conservative, and hardline there are 2 genders only and gay people do not exist, pushing, extremely hostile to non-Korean performers and fans, wildly inappropriately privacy violating, boundary crossing in regards to fans with too much money and too many access to grind. And that's not even getting to the real nitty gritty nasty shit that I don't even care to delve in here because I'm not equipped to do that. Look at me, I'm a cartoon character. Why choose this avenue of expression? Now granted, fame is probably a part of it if we're being blunt here, but it's still a gamble. The odds of becoming the next BTS or getting big enough to even be considered worthy of opportunities such as being on local music shows or performing at major events are slim to none for a lot of groups. Cut down those chances even further if you're not from a financially powerful management company, such as these guys over here. With groups and soloists debuting and disbanding every week, it is cutthroat as hell. Not to say it's bad as in the West, as bad as it's the Western Hemisphere of the world, because you know the Western American music industry is also kind of how do you say shit, but it's fucking bad. On top of that, you can train for years and even debut in a group, but it doesn't guarantee success. To my knowledge, Korea doesn't have an underground idol culture similar to Japan's, where there's indie groups. I mean, there is indie groups and acts in Korea. Shoutouts to queer idol group QIX and artist collective DR. Yeah, DPR Ian, hell yeah. But like the culture of going to a small live show at an idol performance club or a maid cafe to see smaller self-managed homegrown talent and mascots with anything goes concepts and no limit to how one can look or style themselves or sound is, to my knowledge, not the vibe that K-pop rolls with. And you can tell because it's unfortunately reflected in the general fandom, which can be primarily focused on sales numbers, streaming songs multiple times in a row to inflate the number of views, demanding perfection and judging if a group is good or not based on how much they sold or how much money was spent on promotions. A lot more inside baseball speculation and focus on internal management than most music fandoms genuinely. And if I see one more fucking post or video about line distribution in a song or measuring screen time in seconds, I will blow myself up. Fuck you, go listen to the Dead Kennedys. You fucks go get some critical media comprehension skills. Oh my god. So, why would anyone want to take that gamble? Huh? Looking back on the various interviews that the group has done, they mentioned being inspired by older groups or how they always felt the most alive while performing on stage. Something to note though is they all fell in love with K-pop and K-pop idols during hard times. The inspiration to keep pushing through to the next day to make a huge scary life change, such as changing one's major from geology to pursue music, or dropping out from college and moving halfway across the world to another country, or leaving everything everyone's known behind to go train in a fairly hostile industry and learn your third language, or trying again despite being told you're too old to start over, which is, you know, pretty Automaster side M of ya, if I don't say myself. ZEROBASEONE's motley crew of weirdos, affectionately being together in this group is a miracle in itself, and their dedication to hit the ground running and continue to throw themselves against the rocks of fandom in the industry while continuously striving to improve technically as artists is pretty heartbreaking and compelling to say the least. And the crazy thing is they have pulled off the impossible. Cinema Paradise has been a smashing success thanks to the fandom word of mouth, was good so bad, being so good that it is the Korean fan base heralded it as the group's second coming out. Debut. It's a highly packed mini album that covers a variety of genres, stepping away from the usual drum and bass to dive into synthwave, funk, pop, hip hop, and so on. Not as experimental as the stuff I'd usually listen to, like these things, but still a departure from the usual sounds, while at the same time feeling like each song was specifically made for them with the ZB1 song. Even though, let me just go overhead and move over here. This song is actually a cover, but whatever. The mini album is a journey, each song being interconnected with each other despite the different genres, much like the 9 different personalities of the group meshing together so well even though they shouldn't on paper. Breaking away from a predetermined ending apart from each other, they reject the unhappy ending of saying goodbye and travel together to find peace and eternity with each other and those who love them. Is this a love a dream? Please tell me it's not. It's the same hopeful, delusional dream of the Zeros, that's the fandom name, and the Jebbies themselves. Let us stay a little longer. We're predestined to disband in 2.5 years due to the nature of being a temporary group with members under contract from different companies, but we've done the impossible. Miracles have happened. This group of unusual, unique little guys have realized more than he could ever imagine. And maybe there can't be a chance that this dream comes true and we can all stay together in the end, with hopefully better contract negotiations and management. You know, did I mention the group codependency goes really crazy and they can't be apart from each other, and that's unusual compared to other boy groups who perform them survival programs? Because it really is. Just go search up ZEROBASEONE terrorizes Young Jae-hun's workplace. That's all you need to know. Setting aside the avalanche of accolades and awards and best of the years and rookie glam slams, they've managed to stand out and make a name for themselves aside from that group formed from a reality TV show. Despite the iron grip that their management company has on them, despite the fact that some of the most popular / biggest BNF big name fans are also wildly toxic solo types who have no idea how creative group projects work, or even how jobs work in general, who hate the fact that their fave boy actually likes the guys that he works with and lives with, despite the fact that their umbrella company Mnet keeps threatening a new survival group to release them every month. Jesus Christ. Despite the fact that they're not from a major company with mainstream appeal. That's kind of a double negative there, is, they're a K-pop group. But they've done the impossible and managed to stand alongside their bigger, more popular peers. As of writing their script, they're about to go on the first leg of their world tour, and they performed in the US both at KCON and the Grammy Museum. For a group filled with members that tackle being an idol that ways that don't usually fit the usual media trained mold, especially Matthew, please never get media training in your life, I beg you, that only recently celebrated their first year anniversary. That's crazy. So does this matter? To lift the curtain very quickly and discreetly, I was in a bad living situation when Cinema Paradise dropped. Had been for a while actually since Zero Base One's debut. Just absolute dog shit stressful situation that I'm only now just kind of able to realize was an abusive situation. Lol, now even. But setting that aside, one of my favorite distractions aside from streaming and gaming, etc., was Zero Base One. The fact that all of their live stuff and videos dropped at a time of day where I could just be alone and relax in the middle of the night and for about a few hours just decompress. I could attend a concert virtually and chat with other Zeros in real time over the worldwide interweb. I gained a new appreciation for the kind of style and technical execution that K-pop performances have. It was a respite from all the shit going on in my life, and also a reminder that, hey, you know what, stuff may be dog shit now, I can push through. I can watch the upcoming variety video that ZB1 is doing right here with Eat a Lot of Food and Together, and it's real cute, and hey, that's a reward for sticking it through. I joke a lot about the fact that Zero Base One is never going to disband and that they're extremely codependent on each other, but the truth of the matter is that my fandom is not a true parasocial buy-in. Being a streamer, one is keenly aware of the divide between audience and performer, and like also it's not good to pin your full mental stability on like another human being or hamster in general. Trust me, I know. And so I think that's why when Cinema Paradise dropped, I resonated with the whole concept of breaking away and changing the script while staying positive and also being able to ask for help. Because that's something that's very hard for me. And like, sure, it's K-pop. It's a broad theme. It might be corny, but before then I'd been following ZB1's journey all throughout. Because of that whole album was my background music while I was working on escaping from my situation. I mean, after all, if these young lads could work hella hard and chase their dreams to break records and change the vibe of the K-pop industry, then why couldn't I start over again? So the answer is, as a thesis statement, this is pretty wishy-washy. In the grand scheme of things, it might seem trivial, like, okay, who cares? It's just commercial boy band and bit of shit, right? Wrong. I've met and spoken to a lot of people in Zero's Garden who are from all walks of life, who have followed Zero Base One for various reasons, whether they're a hardcore K-pop fan or someone like me who's an older queer person who appreciates the group's history, their insistence on not changing who they are despite being ridiculed for being too girly or not behaving perfectly, appreciate their acceptance of queer and disabled fans and charity work, or in the case of K-pop moments that could kill Achillians, appreciate Sock Matthew's armpits. Shoutouts to that one account. They're a real one. Sock Matthew, I really hope you're not watching this video right now. In these uncertain times, sometimes all you need to hang on and just stay sane. It's just one little shred of happiness. And personally for me, following this group of skilled, hard-working idols that are breaking preconceived pessimistic notions and extremely controlled industry, have given me just a little push to get back up and keep at it. As I record this, I'm sitting in an undisclosed location, finally free and away from the dire dog shit, piece of shit situation I was in. I had a lot of help from people close to me, and for that I'm very, very grateful. My OSTs, I packed up everything and got the fuck out of there with Cinema Paradise, good so bad on repeat. As I reminded myself, this isn't the end. And if these 9 little guys could do the impossible, Sung Han Bin cutting the power cable to the computer, writing a predetermined tragedy, so could I. And that's my reaction. If you watched this far, thank you. This is normally not my usual fare. I usually stream on Twitch, but currently due to all this shit that's been going on, I'm on a forced hiatus. Hopefully I can come back soon. I stream indie and horror games. Sometimes I do speed runs of said indie/horror games. Sometimes I do unhinged PowerPoint presentations on subculture and fandom things I like. Oh my god, that's a rooster. Shut the fuck up. I want to thank my chat for supporting me throughout the years and all of my fellow friends in the VTubing community. Shoutouts Gatai Universe, from those past and present, everybody who's come through. Shoutouts to the Watch Along gang. Shoutouts Cringe Crew. Shoutouts to the New York Snark Exchange. Me and NJ Sheriff actually did a really good, a really fun sort of just a fireside chat, I guess, on Zero Base One. And we just kind of word vomited for a while. It's just goofy fun. The VOD is up on New York Snark Exchange's Twitch channel. I will be providing a link in the description below, so please do go ahead and check that out. It's really just silly, fun stuff. Just a bunch of us being a bunch of otaku, if you will. Also, shoutouts to the Berets over at the Boys Love community Discord server. Shoutouts RJ and Adam. They're honestly, you gotta check out those videos too if you're have any sort of interest in Zero Base One or even K-pop or like Broadway musicals. They come at it from a really interesting perspective, and they're funny as fuck. So go ahead and check that out. You guys are real ones. And if you liked the video, then maybe like the video or share with your friends or enemies. And if you didn't, that's okay. Just subscribe. I'm just do it. Why not? Why wouldn't you? I also got a Teespring with t-shirts and mugs and shit. Check that out. got a coffee. Yeah, okay, I think that's all. Okay, that's all. Bye for now. Bye.